Have you ever considered what the true nature is of the attachments you cling to so tightly, or the realities you take for granted? Today, I will guide you in experiencing one of the most profound wisdoms in Buddhism, the emptiness of all phenomena. This is not only the truth personally proclaimed by the Buddha over 2,500 years ago, but also a beacon of wisdom that transcends time and space, capable of directly illuminating our modern lives. The phrase, "all dharmas are empty in nature," seemingly simple on the surface with just 4 characters, contains the key to unlocking the truth of life. It does not tell us of a nihilism where nothing exists, but rather reveals a more astonishing truth. All that we cling to, material possessions, emotions, thoughts, even the very sense of self, are not as solid, unchanging, or independently existent as we imagine. When you truly understand the meaning of emptiness, you will realize that it does not take anything away, but instead grants infinite possibilities and freedom. This is a form of middle-way wisdom that transcends existence and non-existence, birth and death, gain and loss. Dear friend with karmic connection, it is no coincidence that you are encountering this video and this wisdom at this moment. If this Buddhist wisdom fills you with joy in the Dharma, please write Namo, Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha, in the comment section. This is both a blessing and an acknowledgement of the Buddha's wisdom. The concept of the emptiness of all dharmas does not arise out of nowhere. It originates from the serene night when the Buddha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, revealing profound truths to humanity after his insight into the nature of the world. Among the Buddha's teachings, the most direct scripture expounding emptiness is the Heart Sutra, Prajpramitdeya. A well-known passage in the sutra states, "Form is not different from emptiness. Emptiness is not different from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form." These 16 characters encapsulate a timeless wisdom that has guided countless practitioners towards the path of liberation. It is said that during the time of the Buddha, there was a disciple named Katyayana who once asked the Buddha about the question of existence and non-existence. People often fall into dualistic thinking, believing that something either exists or does not exist. The Buddha told Katyayana, if a person sees existence, they are on one side. If they see non-existence, they are on the other side. The Tathagata's teaching adheres to the middle way, which marks the origin of the renowned Madhyamaka philosophy and is key to understanding emptiness. With the spread of the Dharma, the concept of emptiness has been given richer interpretations in different periods and regions. In India, Bodhisattva Nagarjuna systematically expounded the concept of emptiness through the middle way, Madhyamaka philosophy. When Buddhism spread eastward to China, the 6th patriarch Huineng's line, "Originally there is not a single thing, where can dust alight," integrated the wisdom of emptiness into the sudden enlightenment method of Chan, Zen. Meanwhile, Tibetan Buddhism advanced the practice of emptiness to a new height through the lens of the Prasangika view. There's an ancient Zen koan that can help us understand the meaning of emptiness. A monk asked Master Fayan, "What is the true Dharma precept?" "Dharma," I responds, "rice in the bowl, water in the bucket." This seemingly plain and unremarkable response directly points to the true nature of things as they are. Things are just like this, neither increasing nor decreasing, with no fixed and unchanging essence to cling to. It is worth noting that although the concept of emptiness has been expressed in various forms throughout the historical development of Buddhism, its core essence has remained consistent, revealing the lack of permanence and independent self-existence in phenomena, dispelling attachment to the phenomenal world, and guiding sentient beings toward liberation. When we stand in the 21st century and look back at this ancient wisdom, we find that it has not faded with the passage of time. Rather, it shines even more brilliantly under the illumination of modern science and philosophy. Modern physics, quantum theory, molecular biology's exploration of the essence of life, and psychology's study of the concept of self all corroborate the teachings of the Buddha from different perspectives. There is no independent, permanent, and unchanging entity. All phenomena arise and cease in mutual dependence and interaction. This ancient and eternal wisdom transcends the boundaries of culture and era, becoming a crucial means to interpret the human condition and seek inner peace. Now, let us delve deeper into the core essence of the emptiness of all dharmas, unveiling the mysterious veil of this treasure of wisdom. To understand the emptiness of all phenomena, we must first grasp the true meaning of these three characters. All dharmas refer to all things and phenomena in the world, encompassing not only the material world that we can see and touch, but also our thoughts, emotions, memories, as well as more abstract concepts and ideas. From microscopic atoms and molecules to the macroscopic galaxies and cosmos, from the existence of matter to the activities of the mind, all fall within the scope of dharmas. Emptiness in the context of emptiness and form is one of the most easily misunderstood concepts in Buddhism. Many people mistakenly believe that emptiness means non-existence or nothingness, which is a serious misinterpretation of Buddhist teachings. The true meaning of emptiness is the lack of intrinsic nature, that is, the absence of an independent, permanent, and unchanging essence. Fragrance refers to the manifestation or characteristic appearance of an object. Therefore, the emptiness of all dharmas teaches us that behind the appearances of all things, there is a lack of an independent and unchanging essence. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine a smartphone in your hand, which at first glance appears to be an independent and separate entity. However, when we contemplate deeply, we realize that the existence of this phone depends on countless conditions. Metal, glass, plastic, and other material substances, the design by engineers, factory production, and the support of the electrical system. If you disassemble this mobile phone, you'll find that it is composed of thousands of individual components. Each spiritual component is composed of more fundamental elements, which in turn are made up of atoms. Within atoms, there are protons, neutrons, and electrons. Ultimately, you will find that there is no entity that can be called the inherent essence of the phone. This mobile phone is merely the product of countless conditional factors temporarily coming together. It itself possesses no fixed or unchanging essence. The same principle also applies to ourselves. We habitually conceive of a fixed and unchanging self, but the Dharma teaches us that this self is merely a temporary aggregation of the five skandhas: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Our bodies are constantly undergoing metabolism, with cells continuously dying and regenerating. Our emotions and thoughts also continuously change in response to various environments and conditions. Upon deep observation, one will find that there is no permanent and unchanging self. This is the wisdom of Atman, which is the key to understanding emptiness. However, it should be noted that no self, Atman, does not mean that the self does not exist. Rather, it means that the self is not an independent, fixed, and unchanging entity, but a composite temporarily manifested dependent on various conditions. In Buddhism, there is an important concept called dependent origination, which refers to the arising of all phenomena through the coming together of causes and conditions. The principles of dependent origination and emptiness are both fundamental truths. Precisely because all phenomena arise dependently, they are all empty in nature. Precisely because they're empty in nature, they are able to arise dependently. This is not a contradiction, but the principle of two sides of the same reality. Imagine a river. Heraclitus said that one cannot step into the same river twice because the water is constantly flowing and changing. A river appears to be a continuously existing entity. In reality, it is changing every moment. There is no fixed and unchanging essence of the river. It is precisely because the river lacks a fixed and unchanging essence, emptiness, that it can continuously flow and change, dependent origination. It is precisely because it is in constant flux and change, dependent origination, that it lacks a fixed and unchanging essence, emptiness. After understanding the meaning of emptiness, we need to clarify that emptiness is not nihilism. Emptiness in Buddhism does not mean that things do not exist. Rather, it means that things do not exist in the way we imagine. They lack an independent, permanent, and unchanging essence. This understanding breaks our stubborn perceptions of the world and opens a new perspective on how to view it. But I must also tell you a deeper truth, which is a trap that many practitioners of Buddhism easily fall into. Clinging to emptiness itself is also a form of attachment. The Buddha said in the Diamond Sutra that if a bodhisattva has the notions of self, person, sentient being, or life holder, then he is not a true bodhisattva. Similarly, if we cling to the concept of emptiness and regard emptiness as some kind of entity or absolute truth, we fall into another form of attachment. True wisdom neither clings to existence nor to non-existence. It transcends duality and returns to the middle way. This leads to a seemingly paradoxical yet profound statement. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form, encompassing all phenomena in the world. The nature of form is emptiness, yet emptiness does not exist independently apart from all phenomena in the world. Emptiness manifests itself through all things in the world, and all things in the world exist through emptiness. This is a wisdom that transcends language and concepts, which can only be truly realized through deep contemplation and meditation. The wisdom of emptiness is also manifested in a profound understanding of impermanence. Impermanence is one of the three marks of existence in Buddhism, referring to the fact that all conditioned phenomena, formed through the combination of causes and conditions, are in a constant state of change and have no eternal, unchanging nature. From a microscopic perspective, science tells us that within the atoms constituting matter, electrons are in constant motion. From a macroscopic perspective, planets rotate on their axes and revolve around stars, while the universe is expanding. From the perspective of human society, dynasties rise and fall, civilizations flourish and decline. From the perspective of individual life, we experience birth, aging, illness, and death, as well as fluctuations in emotions and changes in thoughts. The omnipresent change teaches us that grasping anything is like trying to hold flowing water. I often use the ocean and its waves as a metaphor for the relationship between emptiness and phenomena. Waves appear as independent entities, some high and some low, some large and some small, but essentially they are all temporary forms of the ocean water. Waves depend on the seawater to exist. Without the seawater, there are no waves. Simultaneously, the seawater manifests itself through the form of waves. Although the waves continuously arise and cease, the inherent wetness of the seawater remains constant. Similarly, although all phenomena in the world continuously arise and cease, their essential nature of emptiness remains constant. The wisdom of emptiness is not only present in Mahayana Buddhism, but also has unique expressions in various Buddhist schools. Zen Buddhism uses the threefold realm of seeing the mountain as a mountain, seeing the mountain not as a mountain, and seeing the mountain again as a mountain to describe the realization and insight into the nature of emptiness, sunyata. The Pure Land school's teaching that a single thought or 10 thoughts of recitation both lead to rebirth in the Pure Land reflects the transcendence of emptiness over the concepts of time and quantity. The Tantric practice of attaining Buddhahood through the union of body and mind is an innovative application of the wisdom of emptiness in spiritual methods. The theory of 3,000 realms in a single thought moment, proposed by Master Z, the founder of the Tiantai school, is a profound interpretation of the wisdom of emptiness. He pointed out that a single thought contains the 3,000 worlds. The vastness is encompassed within the minute, and eternity is contained within a moment. This is not a mystical exaggeration, but a profound insight into the non-duality of mind and matter, the inseparability of inner and outer. In the Mahaprajnaparamita, Bodhisattva Nagarjuna explains emptiness as follows. When a phenomenon exists, it is said to be existent. Subsequently, it is subject to cessation. If giving is not possible, then appropriateness is followed. Due to the nature of emptiness, the principle transcends the extremes of annihilation and eternalism. This passage reveals how emptiness surpasses these two extreme views. If one believes that things have an inherent essence, then when they cease to exist, one falls into the view of annihilation. If one believes that things do not inherently exist, one will fall into the common error. The middle way wisdom of emptiness neither falls into existence nor into non-existence, transcending these dualistic concepts. It is important to note that understanding emptiness requires caution against two common pitfalls. The first misunderstanding is to interpret emptiness as nihilism, the belief that nothing exists at all. This is a serious distortion of the Dharma. The Buddha explicitly pointed out that one should neither cling to existence nor to non-existence. The Middle Way treatise states, one should not say exists, nor say does not exist, nor say both exists and does not exist, nor say neither exists nor does not exist. To express the complete truth, it is said to exist. This passage teaches us that emptiness transcends the realm of language and concepts. Any attempt to fix it with ordinary language leads to delusion. The second misconception is to understand emptiness as a kind of metaphysical entity or essence. Some people, upon hearing about the emptiness of all dharmas, imagine that there is something called emptiness existing either outside or within the phenomenal world. However, this precisely contradicts the true meaning of emptiness. Emptiness is not a thing, but a description of the true nature of phenomena, signifying the absence of an independent, permanent self-nature. In the practice process, we may encounter challenges such as understanding the principle of emptiness, but finding it difficult to truly realize and apply it. There exists a vast chasm between intellectual understanding and actual realization, much like a person who has read countless books about swimming, but has never entered the water. True wisdom of emptiness needs to be experienced and verified through continuous meditation and practical application in daily life. A groundbreaking insight may help you gain a deeper understanding of emptiness. Emptiness is not only a description of the phenomenal world, but also a reflection on our way of cognition. We are accustomed to understanding the world through concepts and language, segmenting the flowing reality into fixed notions. However, concepts and language themselves are human constructs. They cannot fully capture the entirety of reality. The wisdom of emptiness reminds us not to be imprisoned by our own concepts, but to remain constantly aware of the gap between concepts and ultimate reality. When we truly realize emptiness, we find that it is not a passive negation, but an active liberation. It liberates us from attachment to fixed identities, roles, and concepts, allowing us to approach life with greater openness and flexibility. From the perspective of emptiness, failure is no longer the end, and suffering is no longer eternal. All experiences are processes of flowing change. We can begin anew at every moment, having understood the profound meaning of the emptiness of all dharmas. How can we apply this wisdom to our daily lives? First, the wisdom of emptiness can help us face change and impermanence. When we deeply understand that everything is changing and nothing is permanent, we can more calmly accept the ups and downs of life. Losing cherished possessions, experiencing changes in relationships, and facing declining health no longer cause such profound suffering. We know that attachment is the root of suffering, and only by letting go of attachment can one attain inner peace. Secondly, the wisdom of emptiness can help us reduce our attachment to the self. We are often bound by concepts of self and mine, my achievements, my failures, my reputation, my status. When we realize that the self is not a fixed, an unchanging entity, but a constantly changing process, we can alleviate the burden of self-centeredness. Thirdly, the wisdom of emptiness can help us cultivate compassion. When we realize that all sentient beings are interdependent, without absolute boundaries or distinctions, we can transcend the duality of self and others and regard the well-being of others as our own responsibility. True compassion is not a condescending act of giving, but a natural response to the inherent interdependence of all life. Fourth, the wisdom of emptiness helps us maintain a middle-way approach to life, avoiding extreme hedonism as well as extreme asceticism, neither blindly optimistic nor pessimistically despondent, actively engaging in worldly affairs while preserving inner detachment. This balanced attitude towards life enables the wisdom of emptiness to be manifested in practice. Ultimately, the wisdom of emptiness can help us cultivate mindfulness and awareness in our daily lives. When we focus on washing the dishes while washing the dishes, and focus on walking while walking, without being pulled by past memories or future plans, we are experiencing the emptiness of the present moment in our own way. There is no fixed, unchanging self-experiencing, nor is there a fixed, unchanging object being experienced. There is only the pure flow of experience itself. As Bodhisattva Nagarjuna states in the Mulammadhyamakarika, all phenomena come into existence because of emptiness. If there is no sense of emptiness, nothing can be accomplished. It is precisely because of emptiness that all phenomena in the world can arise, transform, and cease. It is precisely because of emptiness that we can transcend attachment and attain true freedom and wisdom. The wisdom of the emptiness of all phenomena is not merely an abstract philosophical theory, but an art of living, a completely new perspective on viewing the world. It teaches us not to be deceived by appearances, not to be bound by concepts, and not to be troubled by attachments. When we let go of attachments and transcend dualistic oppositions, we can experience the inherent state of life, tranquility, harmony, and freedom. In this rapidly changing era, in this world full of uncertainty, the wisdom of the emptiness of all dharmas is particularly precious. It can help us face change, accept impermanence, maintain inner peace amidst chaos, and find meaning in life amidst turmoil. If today's sharing has inspired you, I hope you can bring this wisdom into your daily life, truly appreciate it with your heart, and put it into practice through your actions. You are also welcome to share your insights and experiences in the comment section below, so that we may grow together in the wisdom of the Dharma.